Hi there. Welcome to Story Time. Today we're reading the story of Goodwin the Goat. Story and pictures by Don Freeman. Produced, edited, and narrated by yours truly. Goodwin was a frisky young goat who thought the world was made just for him to frolic in and enjoy. Every morning, Farmer McDuff would set out wheat, oats, and other things Goodwin loved to eat. But there was something about Goodwin that Farmer McDuff didn't know. Goodwin also liked to nibble on all sorts of interesting things, like toothpaste tubes, tin can labels, and delicious paste. However, these delicacies were not easy to find. So one day he went out searching for even more of those taste sensations. And he came upon an artist painting a picture of a barn. Goodwin didn't know anything about art, but he did like those bright, delicious colors. Mrs. Phipps, the artist, decided to have her picnic lunch on a nearby stream. Goodwin wanted to nibble on those colorful tubes of paint she had left behind, so he moved closer and closer. Suddenly, he could resist no longer. Oh, what a treat! Colors began squirting everywhere. Wild with happiness, he rolled in the paint-splattered grass. He pounced on one tube after another. Squish, squash, and squirt. When Mrs. Phipps returned, she couldn't believe her eyes. "Look what you've done! You've ruined my painting and squashed all of my precious watercolors." No, of course, Goodwin had no idea what she was saying. Aren't colors meant for fun? "I'm going to find out who you belong to and have you tied up this minute," Mrs. Phipps sniffed. Goodwin returned to his hut on the hillside and stayed there for the rest of the day and all night long. He wondered if he'd done something wrong. Early the next morning, Goodwin's neighbors saw him on top of his hut, covered in a blaze of colors. They were amazed. "It's a miracle, that's what it is. We must tell everyone in town to come and see." Farmer McDuff didn't know what to think. Mrs. Phipps came to see, too, and she glared at Farmer McDuff. "Your goat chewed up all of my lovely tubes of paint and ruined my beautiful painting. I want you to pay me back for this." Poor Farmer McDuff, he had not a penny to spare and didn't know what to do. Then later that afternoon, the word had spread to the town and people came in buses, vans, and on bicycles to see this amazing goat. Mrs. Phipps and Farmer McDuff knew exactly what to do. They painted a banner, hung it high over the gate, and started charging admission to see Goodwin. Later, after the crowds had cleared, they relaxed on the front porch and smiled. "Well, what a day this has been for everyone. I reckon tomorrow will be even better." Sipping lemonade, they chuckled. "Fancy that. Your goat and my watercolors. We may just get rich after all." That evening, poor Goodwin was tied to a stake so he couldn't get away. He was now very valuable, but Goodwin didn't like this one bit. He yanked and pulled and pulled and yanked until finally the stake pulled out of the ground. Goodwin was free. He remembered a stream near a waterfall where he could take a bath. He was done with all these silly people pointing at him and making fun of how he looked. So he splashed in, horns and all. and now he was spotlessly clean. In the morning, Farmer Macduff was worried. Where had Goodwin gone? And what would he tell the people who'd come to see his colorful goat? Well, when the crowds finally arrived, they waited and grew restless. They grumbled, "We've come all this way to see your old goat." Then Goodwin appeared, clean and white as a cloud in the sky. The crowd shouted, "There's no miracle goat. It's only a hoax." "Oh, well," Farmer Macduff smiled. "I'm glad to have you back, Goodwin, just the way you are." The banner was taken down and the show was over. The following day, Mrs. Phipps visited Farmer Macduff and painted a portrait of Goodwin, for he was the one who had brought them together. They were friends after that for a long time and watched Goodwin play and romp from sunrise to sunset. But then one day, Farmer Macduff hopped in his truck to go to town for supplies. He brought back a surprise for Mrs. Phipps, a beautiful new set of watercolors. He also brought back a present for Goodwin. Can you guess what it is? It's a nanny goat to keep Goodwin company. They had fun butting into each other all day long and soon became very good friends. And so together they lived happily and scrappily ever after. Thanks for reading with us today. We'll read again next time.